Hey, welcome to the show tonight. I'm Dr. Astar Bear, my co-teacher here, Leah Schaefer.
Welcome, everyone.
And tonight we're talking about self-reflection and encouragement. And we were talking about this theme and just how much we all need recognition, acknowledgement of who we are and what our gifts are and what are our accomplishments, or even just like what is our potential. That being seen is just such a basic kind of thing, and we often look for it from our parents, and especially boys to their fathers and girls to their mothers. And I mean, like, not to be old fashioned and gendered about it, but like, we do grow up in a highly gendered society. And what happens when we don't get that acknowledgement, when we don't get that recognition, when we're not seen in that way? And it
Mm.
seemed like that was a relevant thing as we go into this holiday time when we're getting together with family and hoping for that and often not getting it.
Yeah, and it can be from like the mirror. We all need mirroring, right? And we need mirroring from a village, not just one person in particular, but we are affected by different people more. So, like the people that we feel more are our family members or like our closest of kin when we're being
Right.
mirrored in a negative light or when we're not being mirrored at all. It can like add on to this perpetual feeling of not enoughness or this feeling of lacking in some form. And so tonight we're hoping to explore how to develop our own self affirmation, like our own self mirroring, our own self reflection, and also this act of encouragement for ourselves and for others, for the people that we're mirrors for as well.
Right, right. Oh, look, our friend Shaka is here. Good to see
Hello.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. um, it would be ironic if we didn't acknowledge our comments on a whole show that's about recognition and acknowledgement, right?
Right.
We do appreciate everyone who's here and everyone who writes in and asks us questions or interacts in some way. We really appreciate that. We make it live for a reason, because we
Mhm.
value that real time interaction. So
It's really special to be able to broadcast like this, and we are so appreciative of you meditating because that's freaking rare, and it's something that can change your life as well as change the world. So we're just so proud of you. I'm not supposed to say stuff like that, but it's true. Like everybody that does practice, it's a real, it's something you have to willfully do. It's something you have to
yeah.
really go toward and work at. And it's sometimes people's biggest fear, being quiet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's like there's almost always, the TV on or the radio or music or, whatever. And it's like,
Yeah, constant.
it's all around us. Like they don't want to leave us alone with our thoughts or, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. So you're doing amazing. You're doing super good.
well done, everyone.
Oh, wow, how did that happen?
What,
Did you
yeah, what
see
was
that?
that?
I have no idea.
Looks like the AI is
Amazing.
with
The
us and
AI is taking the
these
show
computer
over.
fairies or whatever they are.
Wow. Our production team is really stepping it up these days.
I know.
Sorry. What is happening? Anyway.
Look, our other friend is here, Akbar Kadus. Gnostics
Mm,
are quietists, so are we. All right.
mm.
All right. I'm not sure I
What does
follow
that
that.
mean?
Good to see you. Anyway,
What does that mean? Oh goodness.
what is it? It suits Leah. But better still would be a pillar of light. Yes, very.
Thank you. Thank you, Shakor. Please let us know if there's anything you ever want to request. We appreciate all requests as well. All right.
I
So,
think one of the insights that comes from Sufism, which of course is our lineage, our tradition, the Sufism of Hazrat Inayat Khan, and one of the things that comes out of this is that like what you feel you're missing, what you feel you're lacking, it's like if you give that away to others, you're gonna feel the lack so keenly, right? Because other people, it's like you're always looking for something and it's not there, and you're always getting disappointed, right?
do you mean like looking to fill the lacking with the
Looking
outside?
to fill or just looking outside, right? Looking for that energy to come to you from outside. It's like when you focus on the lack of what you're receiving, you know, that's a certain energy and it's going to really make you feel that absence very keenly. But if you shift toward giving it, like, oh my gosh, I know how wonderful this feels to get this. Let me give it to somebody else,
Yeah.
let me just recognize someone else. Let me acknowledge somebody else. Let me just appreciate a person is. I had
Yeah.
this guy, this guy I follow, is a martial arts guy, jujitsu guy, and he said, when I was young, I was like the toughest guy. I never said anything, especially not to other men. I never said anything positive. And now I'm like, you look so handsome today, right? Like
Oh,
almost,
so sweet.
he's like now I feel like I can say a positive things when I feel it, or just
Yeah.
which I think is a kind of a, that's a basic level recognition, right? But it's like, we appreciate that. We feel seen, when somebody, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
even just
and
on a surface level.
there's also, like, this hilarity, of the rejecting of praise because I love to praise as well, but I often find that I embarrass people because
Yeah,
I kind of push buttons, like, I say something very sincere, and we
yeah,
can I know in myself, like, when praise comes to me, I can sometimes be like, "No, no, no," like, and there's, like, also this joke of, like, being, like, slightly passive aggressive, like, back to, like, the person, like, "Oh, no," like, "No, that's not who I am,"
I
Like,
know,
make
I
sure to
know.
put myself down or make sure to put this whole thing down.
Yeah, right. It's like you can't just say like, God, look at how well you're doing that yoga pose, let's say, right? Like, I wish I could do it half as well. Like, you don't have to bring in your own lacking, you can just appreciate how good the other person is, right? Like
Yeah.
without any kind of putting yourself down.
Yeah, but it's like, can you inhale compliments when you do get them? Can you actually take them in
Yeah,
and be like, "Actually, yes, that feels good," or
that feels
does
so
it feel
good. Right, right.
but anyway, and I think it depends. I find that with myself as well that I tend to, want, um, praise or certain words from people that maybe can't even deliver them, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
don't even have the wherewithal to, like,
Yeah, I mean,
give
sometimes
it.
there's an issue where a person doesn't really understand us, and then they don't feel comfortable, especially if you've gone in a different direction from people in your family, um, then they don't feel like they can really say anything about. I don't really understand well enough, but you know
Mm.
but then there's also sometimes when you're too similar, there's an issue. My friend told me this story. Her son, very talented musician, brilliant musician, just super super talented, and his father was in bands and has his own recording studio even in his basement, right? And his father never invited him to do anything, never taught him anything, never
Mm.
said, "Come record in my studio." None of it. All he said was, "Get a real job. Don't do this." Right? Like,
Wow.
sometimes it's like you so want, oh, okay, I want you to be better than me. I want you not to make the mistakes I made, or it's like then there's always this attempt to control, or I wish I had done things differently myself, and so I want you to take a different path or whatever. So
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And so I find it just to be incredibly important to become a source of our own um, ability to see the direction we want to go and to really be able to encourage ourselves in that direction, but also to reflect on how far we've actually come toward the things that are important to us.
yeah,
Because even, some journeys are just really, really long, and how much practice it takes to get to these like ideals that we have in our heart, and so it can feel like this never ending journey, and it's so important to look back, over the year or over the last 20 or last 40 etc years, and really see like where did we start with this and then where are we now,
yeah,
in the particular areas where we have grown a lot.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I know I used to have this so much with myself. I just would not, oh, there's so much I have to do, and then I would never take a moment and look back and like, well, what have I done, you know? And when I do that, I'd be like, oh my God, I've actually done a lot, and how little I appreciate that, how little I take
Yeah,
that for granted. And it's like,
yeah.
who's not recognizing me? Me, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's it. That's like 100% it.
that's often the case, right? That is
Yeah.
often the case, and then it's like I think we can come into an awareness of it, right? So there's two things we have here, right? We can just look back and sort of take stock, right? Reflect, and so the importance of self-reflecting, and we can notice in others, right? We can recognize others, we can acknowledge others, and that gets that energy moving, right?
Yeah.
Because when we start making a practice of that, we're more likely to look at ourselves in a similar way.
Mhm.
You can look at others and you can see their flaws and you can see their mistakes and you can say, wow, they really messed up or whatever, right? Or you can see their qualities. You can see who they really
Mhm.
are. And it's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
mistakes. Well, we all make mistakes. Let's not fixate on that, right? The question is, what's the quality there,
Mm.
that's
Mm.
coming through.
Mm. Mm.
Well, let's do a meditation and we'll
Let's
try
do
to
it.
get this
It's
together.
time. It's time for the meditation. Assume the position.
Assume the position, everyone. Yeah.
The meditation posture.
So that means that you're sitting with in an upright
Mhm.
posture and just checking in. For me, it's often that I need to just settle back a little bit, that I'm leaning too far forward. I don't want to settle too far back, but I don't want to lean too far forward either. And I can feel it in the muscles of my core. If I'm leaning too far forward, I'll feel strain in the back of my neck and my lower back or perhaps my upper back. And if I'm leaning too far back, that doesn't happen to me too often, but if I do that, I'll feel more strain in the front of my core, my belly, maybe in the front of my neck if my head goes back too far. So just trying to align myself, align the spine, and then I can be upright and yet relaxed. Now, the method that we practice and teach is heart rhythm meditation, Sufi meditation method. And I'm going to be focusing on the breath and, in particular, making the breath optimal. And that means making the breath five things: making the breath deep, slow, rhythmic, heart centered, and full. So we'll start by making the breath deep, and that means to allow your belly to expand as you breathe in and contract as you breathe out so that your belly is moving a good deal as you breathe. You're breathing down deep in your body. So it's also called diaphragmatic breathing or abdominal breathing. To breathe in this manner triggers the parasympathetic nervous system relaxation response. And you can bring a little more focus to this by just taking your hand and just placing it on your belly. It's helping to just remind you to breathe, to remind you to feel the rhythm of your breath. The more you pay attention to your breath, the more natural it becomes, the more aware of your breath you become. And you become aware of the energy of the breath. And now we come to the next step, which is to make the breath slow, to give yourself more time to really appreciate the inhalation and its unique energy, and how that energy changes throughout the cycle. And then moving to the exhalation. So just allow your breath to be slower. Breathe out a little bit more. Breathe in a little bit more. Just gently extending the breath. Now we would like to make the breath rhythmic, same length and intensity on the inhalation as we have on the exhalation. And there are many reasons for this, but one reason is that the breath is energy and the inhalation represents the energy that we receive, and the exhalation represents the energy that we give out, that we radiate, that we express. And we really want these to be balanced. We do not want to give out more than we receive, otherwise, we will burn ourselves out. Nor do we want to receive more than we give, because this is unfulfilling. And we long to express ourselves. We grow by the energy that we give out, and we long to grow. And we also want to make the breath heart centered, because the heart is the center of the energetic system. It is the center which holds the light of your soul, your timeless, eternal qualities, your uniqueness, that dimension of yourself which is eternal, perfect, and unlimited, and also is the home of your emotions, your values, your desires. So there's tremendous energy there. And of course, the heart center is located where the physical heart is, an organ that is absolutely vital for your life and your health. So we focus on the breath on the heart for all of those reasons, because what we focus on, we strengthen, we energize. And we make the breath rhythmic and heart centered through one technique, which is to focus on the heartbeat and breathe in tune with the heartbeat. Same number of beats as you breathe in, same number of beats as you breathe out. You can choose the number that is right for you. If you try this practice over time, if you want to get good at this practice, I would like you to get to the point where you can breathe in for 8 beats and breathe out for 8 beats. Some can feel the heartbeat right away, some cannot. And if you cannot feel it, place your hand on your heart. It might help you feel it. Press lightly with your fingertips. And if you're trying and trying to feel it and you still do not, you just imagine what you think the rate of your heartbeat might be and you tune yourself to that. You're probably not far off. If you stick to this practice over time, you will eventually feel it. As you breathe in, really energize your heart. Feel your breath, just bringing your heart to life. And your unique combination of energetic qualities and strengths and abilities comes to life more and more as you breathe. And now think of the ways that you are not seen and not recognized. Which of those are the most aggravating to you? My son today was upset and he said, I just don't like my friends, Pops. And I was shocked to hear this because, he loves his friends and his friends are everything to him. And I said, why not? And he said, they treat me like a little kid. There's just so much pain in that. So whatever it is for you, feel that. What is the thing that you're missing? What is the way that you wish you were seen by someone else, by someone, perhaps it's by someone close to you? And once you have identified that, I want you to shift your focus to your exhalation. Now, I'd like you to also work on the final step of your breath, which is making the breath full. So you're breathing deeply, you're breathing slowly, you're breathing rhythmically, and in a way that is heart centered. And then the final step is to breathe fully. And that means to, as you exhale, really squeeze your abdominal muscles, squeeze out all of the breath, breathe out more, go further still. There's more to go. And then as you shift to the inhalation, you allow the belly to expand And then continue that expansion all the way up into the chest, allowing the sides of the body to fill out first, and then the breath goes all the way up to the collarbones. And now, as you exhale, you are going to send out that very quality that you identified, that very thing that you wish you could be seen as, that you wish others would recognize in you. You will send out that energy. You will harmonize yourself with that energy. You can picture yourself seeing that energy everywhere. Perhaps you wish that people saw your generosity. Well, then the trick here is to see that in everyone, to see that everywhere. You see it and you recognize it. And in that recognition, you are giving. As you see what you give out comes back to you. And so the most reliable way to receive is to give. Before I began to share my own artwork, I looked at a lot of artwork and I was very reserved. I did not comment. I did not, I took it in, but I did not express very much. And as I began to share my own work, I found myself just expressing more to others. I would say, I love this so much. This is awesome. And, I mean, of course, I would never say that if I didn't mean it, but there was something where I made the connection, like, how good does it feel to hear these comments myself? And this other person is really just like me. I mean, they're putting themselves out there, whether you have, you know, 10 followers or a million, it's like you're putting yourself out there either way. And and I could give that to someone. If it touches me, I'm going to say it. And then I started to see this coming back. I started to see this. I started to get comments myself from artists that I really respected and admired. I would let them know that means so much coming from someone of your caliber. Sufis say that what you give out comes back to you twentyfold. All right, we'll end our meditation here. And when you're ready, and you your body and open up your eyes. Hmm.
That was beautiful. Mm. I am giving out what how I wanted to be recognized was such a powerful experience.
Yeah, it
Um,
really shifts your focus, right?
yeah, and seeing that within everyone, seeing that within everyone around me.
Yeah,
Mm. It just like expanded, um, it expanded the connection to that which I long for and showed it like all around, just all around.
yeah.
Mm.
It's so interesting, I mean, when I was young, I know I had this longing to be respected, and I felt like I didn't get that. Um, and and I mean, I think I thought of myself as being very smart, and
Mhm.
it was like I didn't. But and people would say that to me, but it was like it wasn't enough somehow,
Mhm.
because it's like I had my own insecurity about it, and it's like I went through so much over time, um, and it's like that longing. I think I gave myself more recognition. And I remember when I became active on Twitter and developed a whole following, and the thing I was struck by was like people are so respectful, you know,
Mm.
like
Really?
yeah, that was my
That's so
my
funny.
that was my take on it for some time, and like I
Wow.
used my real name, whatever I was like and I was like people are they're very respectful, and this
Mm.
is not like what I didn't feel like this is a common thing that people say about the internet, right? That people aren't usually
No.
like, oh yes, people are so respectful on the internet. Um, and I think it's because I don't know, like I always tried to respect others, like I was not wanting to like
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
into this insult kind of place, like um it just is, and it wasn't like I was trying, I just didn't do that, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't,
You were coming from a space of giving respect.
yeah, I was giving respect, right? And I got back so much of it that it was hard for me. I was like, it's like what you said about compliments. It can be
Yeah.
hard to receive a very pure compliment.
Yeah.
because you
Yes,
go, "Oh
that's
my
a
god,
real thing.
do I deserve this? Oh, this person
Yeah.
just so the
I know.
praise is so glowing. Where's the backhanded, part of it that I'm used to, you know?"
Mm.
Like, you can
Oh,
cry, you know? I mean, like, somebody just gives you such a pure
mm.
compliment, and you're just like, "Oh my god,"
I
you know?
love that. I
Yeah,
love that story. It's so full circle. Yeah, and I feel like ultimately what's not being recognized is our true self. Like I found that for myself a lot. Like just my true self is not being recognized. And I bet a lot of people feel that way.
yeah,
That's a really common thread. And it's also like not being recognized by myself. You know what I mean? Like at the same time and not seeing again like how far I've come. Um, but let's um let's see here. Is it time? Let's see. We have a little bit of time left. Should we meditate or should we
if you feel like it's time to meditate, then it's time to meditate.
Okay, let's meditate.
Alright.
So, so go ahead and let's explore this whole experience of recognizing where we've come to in relationship to maybe the goal is going toward our true expression of self and recognizing our true self and recognizing the true self within the human heart of those around us. But it always starts from within, and so closing your eyes or softening your gaze and starting to deepen your breathing. And it takes time to develop a full breath because there's so many parts of ourselves that we've forgotten about entirely. And most of us can't feel every single vertebrae in our spine, not even close, right? Or every organ within. We're not aware of certain parts of ourselves. And so learning how to deepen our breath is like becoming aware of more and more parts of ourselves through our breathing. Can I make more space for my breath here? Can I make more space for my breath in my back body? And there's so many parts of ourselves that we're not conscious of. And it's with this fullness of breath and this exploration of can I breathe deeper? Can I find more width to my breath? That we start to connect to parts of our body that we haven't connected to in a long time. And so with each breath, it's like you're exploring deeper and deeper parts of yourself. And then coming to your heart now, feel these layers of your heart, of knowing your true self. Where in your heart do you know your true self? And breathe with that. That part of you that remembers who you really are, that part of you that wishes somebody could see you, but only because you already know who you are in your heart of hearts. It's almost as if you're making that part of you bigger with each breath and anchoring yourself into that part of yourself. And then breathing in rhythm with your heartbeat if you haven't done so already. You could find your heartbeat on your wrist or your neck point, or the echo of your heartbeat through your chest. This kind of moment of recognizing your life force in addition to your own breath, your life force of your heart. And you breathe in rhythm with your heartbeat. Placing a word on your heartbeat is a fantastic option, especially a word that helps you remember who you really are. Double beat word. And tonight's a night of encouragement, so maybe it's also helping you remember where you're going, where you're headed to. Maybe it's a name of someone who embodies the qualities that you want to embody. The name that you're placing on your heartbeat to help you remember what it means to follow a path that you want to go down, that you want to go through. Well, the experiences of your life that you want to go toward and through. Placing that name, that word on your heartbeat. And it's almost as if you are attuning yourself, as if we are attuning ourselves toward that which really helps us to remember who we are and to believe in that part of ourselves, you know, to feel it in your heart, to feel that part of yourself in your heart right now as you focus on it and as you hone in on your true being, your true light that is connected to you from within. You wouldn't long for it if it wasn't already there. In other words, if you weren't connected to it right now, you wouldn't know about it. There would be a vacancy. But you know on some level that part of you that never goes away, that never changes, that part of you is that anchor, the rock, the source within. And as you breathe with your heart, and as you attune with your true self, think about all the things you've done, and you can go back as far as you want to, but all the things you've done to get closer as you head toward your full expression of self. Thinking back in your heart, looking into your heart, and remembering back all that you have done to get closer, to get a little bit closer toward your true light and your true self, finally being able to come into fruition, being experienced by you, as you, through you. How many difficult nights did you have following your blisters? You know, that famous quote, follow your bliss, Joseph Campbell, he was later quoted to say, I should have said, follow your blisters. Because that's the kind of work we put into the things that really are important to our hearts. So, where are your blisters at? What do you do that you just can't stop doing? That makes you feel more alive and more yourself than anything else. Think about all the work you've done to become who you are right now. And as you feel this in your heart, as you feel these experiences in your heart, can you believe in yourself now? Can you trust your own capacity to become exactly who you want to become, to shine as bright as you want to express full heartedly? Can you believe in yourself when you remember how far you've already come? Can you believe in yourself to keep going? Going toward what? Going toward what? What are you going toward? Can you believe in yourself? Mary Oliver said, leave room in your heart for the unimaginable. Breathe with your heart now. And in your heart, leave room for the unimaginable. What if you became fulfilled? So much so that you finally pursued that which you wish people would see in you. Fill your heart up with each breath. Leave room for the unimaginable to happen to you, that which you are seeking is also seeking you. That which you are reaching toward is also reaching back toward you. And it's all around you. Someone needs you as a mirror. Someone needs you as the teacher or as the artist or as the one who shows up on time, as the person who brings the food, as the person who listens. Someone needs you as a mirror. That which you're seeking is also seeking you. And trust yourself to put one foot in front of the other until you move toward your ideal. And then thank yourself for all the practice you have done this evening and all the practice you've done for your life and will continue to do. Practicing is a constant. Mm, thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Nice meditation. We have some comments here. Let's see. Sometimes people on media and life attack because why aren't my folks like you? Oh, all right. Or the envy. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
Yeah,
know,
that's
sometimes we uphold the things, the things um, that we feel a lack of. We feel, oh, okay, well, we don't have that, and nobody has them. Nobody has the ideal that I'm aspiring to. It's like it's a kind of
mm,
idealism that you know.
yeah, well, and there's a lot of projection. A lot of people that are very insecure will try to make you feel insecure, and you know,
Yeah.
there's no end to it. It's like praise and blame all the same.
And we have
Mm,
another comment from my friend C. Money Burns. Good to see you.
mm,
Thank you so much
mm,
for joining us. I'm glad you got
mm.
something from it. You know,
Thank you.
yeah, he's a musician. You can kind of see from his profile picture, and
Oh,
sent
cool.
me CD. I still listen to that, and a T-shirt. Thank you so much. So
Oh, that's so great. I love that.
appreciate it. And
Mm,
Akbar says we've
good job.
good job. Thank you.
That's actually why we do this is for Akbar Caduceus' approval. If I I mean it.
Well, it's
Mm,
always nice to get right. It's
yeah.
that's the thing.
He's the gold standard. If AQ is pleased, then we made it for that evening. Here, I'll do a little. I don't know if this will come across very well, but
There we go. A little Tibetan gong practice chime. Well, thank you all so much for meditating with us this evening, and hope that you all got something from it and something to take with you um, as
You
we.
did great,
Oh, great.
everyone. Okay, you're gonna do great this holiday season. You're gonna nail it.
And in the year,
Mm,
and guys, if
oh,
you want to support the show, don't forget there's a link to the Patreon. If you want to check out my artwork, I've got my website. I put a link to there in the description. And of course, if you're ever in Tucson, you should take a yoga class with Leah. Follow her on Instagram, and we will see you all next week.
see you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Mhm.